Greetings and welcome to SmartWatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. Care to join me in the Snore Circle? Yeah, you heard that before, right? Now, it's not that my reviews are that boring, but Mrs. Ticks will tell you that Mr. Ticks might have a little snoring thing going on. This is the kind of present that, when you give it to somebody, you're really giving it to yourself, because what this thing can do is monitor sleep apnea, just like it says on the box. Yeah, why the heck in a smartwatch review channel are we looking at things you strap on your face to monitor your snoring? Well, because, as you know, wow, this is pretty lightweight. We have talked a lot about sleep apnea and blood oxygen and all of the issues that can come up when you don't have enough oxygen in your system. We've showed you some wearable bands and watches and even a little ring that you can put on or thing on your finger that will monitor your body for sleep apnea, but it's all doing it through blood moving through your capillaries. This thing is going to give us a baseline measurement on occurrences of sleep apnea. Bear with me if you're interested. If you're not, that's okay, but I guarantee you will be someday. Or your parents are, or your grandparents are. What do we got in here? We're unboxing this whole thing, and then I'm going to tell you some more about this because it is just now coming on the market, everybody. This is a Kickstarter, and it's been kicked, and it is starting. First of all, I'm really impressed with this. Why has it taken this long to come up with a charger like that? Why isn't this on the bottom of our watches? Check this out. I'm going to peel that little thingy off here. And this thing that's going to be at the tip of your nose does all kinds of magic, and we'll talk about that. It's got one little button on that side, and on this side, it's got a booger. No, I'm sorry. I mean, it's got a little port, and that little port is for charging. And look, it's got a little touch thing in the center and an outside. Wow. Come on, China. Are you watching? Can somebody out there make a smartwatch that on the side of the smartwatch, just like this, you've got that little thing and you charge it with this? I'll send you this if you want to play with it. No, I won't. I'll have this company send it to you. This is innovation right here. That's one of the best things I've seen as a new way of providing instantaneous power with magnetic coupling. The coupled magnet is right in the ring. Why? Anyway, that's just the beginning of the innovations on this puppy. Okay, we've got strappy kind of stuff, and obviously I'm going to have to figure all this out, how to put it on, because you wear this as a face mask. It's not COVID friendly. Obviously, it's got a lot of holes and things in it. However, it probably would be beneficial for monitoring if one were convalescing with the virus and breathing was a challenge, as you'll see later when we look at the app and the kind of data that it'll collect. Let's see what's in here. Looks like your honorary membership to the Snore Circle. They got groups for everything these days. I got a quick start guide. Ooh, and pictures. Oh, look at that being fun. Yeah. And I got the overall manual, it looks like. So as we dig into this, we got English and Chinese. Here is information on the company. And here is the contents. So the overview introduces you to it, and this is what the product looks like and the dimensions on it. And you already saw it's a clear plastic lightweight thing. Product parameters, that's your basic specs. Good, because none of this is on the web, folks. It's just now launching in Kickstarter, so I don't have a lot to show you in terms of other pictures, but I do have this manual here for you. Power on, power off, and Bluetooth tethering. That's about all you got to worry about on his. That charging thing on the battery. And now, there we go. This is the QR code you're going to scan to download the thing called SleepBreath. And I haven't found the app in the Google Play Store, but again, it's just getting started. So it probably will be there eventually. If in the meantime, you need to download it from the QR code. And if I can, I will take the link that it shows up in the QR code and I'll put it in our show notes down below so you can just click on the link and not have to go through all the rigmarole of scanning that thing. Okay, how you pair your device. And it was so straightforward and easy. About app personalization settings. And now we're getting into the pictures that you saw in the quick start guide. Here we go. Wearing instructions. You're going to use a white strap as recommended and so forth. And you're going to strap it around your ear. We're all used to wearing masks these days, so this should not be unusual, except the fact that you're wearing it in bed at night. But something you could get used to. We got a black strap here that you can put on. I guess as an alternative. So a couple of different ways of strapping it on. Bunch of different FAQs. I will just let you skim those or freeze frame it if you want to. Because that's getting way more detail than those of you just wanting an overview. And then, of course, troubleshooting. And since we don't know that this manual is on in a PDF anywhere, the only way you may be able to see it if you lose it or haven't bought the product yet is right here. So we're taking just a moment to make sure the manual is fully covered. And here we go. Declaration of hazardous substances, environmental friendly, FCC citations and such. Guess it doesn't put out too many radio waves that would affect you. And now we're into the Chinese part. Let me talk a little bit more about this. I do have a little bit more stuff I can show you. This is from some of the product literature that's being put together for it. It's showing a little snip of the app. And look, it's going to be able to tell you if you're a right side or left side or back or forward sleeper, because it's got, I guess, a gravity sensor in there that will assess all of that stuff. And of course, your deep and light and awake time sleeping, and a special kind of a chart that's going to show it not linearly across time, but in percentages across a spread, which is kind of cool. You'll get a sleep score and so forth, your overall sleep time. Now, in terms of how they talk about this device, the SleepBreath, is a polysomnogram. I had to work on that. Polysomnogram, competitive sensor with patented algorithms that track your sleep data comprehensively to help solve your sleeping problems. Now, what it's going to do is going to give you awareness of what your sleeping patterns and style is. And from that information, you can feed that in to help solve your sleeping problems, okay? It's a sensor acquisition device that's going to display data related to your sleeping on the app. You'll be monitoring from breath, snore, sleep cycle, and sleep position, 4 different aspects for sleep health to assess your sleep quality comprehensively and accurately at the PSG level. Sorry, I don't know that acronym. Personal Sleep Guide. SleepBreath records and computes all the data immediately to conduct the statistics, graphs, and in-depth analysis reports to understand your body better and prevent diseases. Now, maybe, I don't know if you've ever had to do this. Fortunately, I haven't, but some folks have had such an issue with sleep apnea that they've actually had to go to a doctor and get a prescription to get a complete test done. We'll talk about that in a minute. This kind of supersedes all that. All the data will be generated to a sleep score and breakdown of suggestions to benefit your lifestyle and improve your sleep quality. And this is the Kickstarter page. It's not even open yet, but at this point, notify on launch. Now, when you're watching this, it will have already started, but I'm recording it in advance because they sent me a prototype that we could get going, so we have this ready for you when they do the Kickstarter. Just for clarification, I'm not involved with them in any way. I'm not getting any money off of any sales of these things. I'm committed to making sure you guys get great information on upcoming wearables, whether they're on your face or your arm or your little toe. If they're beneficial, we're going to try to cover them for you from a technical perspective. I have no idea if the thing even works. I'm just taking it out of the box. But I'm not financially tied to these. If it sounds like a sales pitch, it's just because I get excited about this stuff. It's true of all of these things. So anyway, notify you on launch. You can put in, it's going to be like $80, I think, the Kickstarter price, which is great to get going. So here's something that they gave me that looked really like, wow, really? And I'd heard, oh, this is it. It's called a PSG machine, I guess. You get, you have to go into the hospital, sleep 3 nights in the hospital, costs about $3,000. A nurse or a doctor applies this same kind of stuff with more wires and things attached to it and gathers all kinds of information about you sleeping in a hospital bed with wires all wrapped around you and seeing if you snore or if you can even fall asleep. And so forth. There's a lot of preparation, and test results are about 3 weeks later. And this little plastic thing with the little black thing on the tip of your nose, $79. You can just do it in one night, get a whole bunch of statistics on that, send that to your doctor, and see if you guys can take it from there on techniques that can help you improve it. By the way, you have it and you own it, and you can see how well these things are working to help you get over snoring at night. If they are, they are. If they aren't, they aren't. So this is another little closer picture of this, the way it works on the app. And we'll get into the app, and I'm sure I'll be showing you a lot of my results from it later on. But for now, I can just at least show you how it looks when you open it up. And the last thing is what you need to know and reasons for snoring. And there's a lot of fear things we could go into, and a lot of folks need to hear all of that about how COVID could affect your sleep patterns, your snoring, your breathing, how important it is to have blood oxygen coming through your system. And if you do end up holding your breath and going into a situation where your blood oxygen drops, that it could actually, I'm not going to go any further. Read about it. You probably already have. It's not good news. The best thing is to try to get over whatever's going on, not just for the person that you're annoying with your snoring, but for your own health as well. Okay, more of the QR codes. There's 2 of them, one for iOS and one for Android. And I believe that's the link if you want to just type that in and go get it. Let's bring the app over. Here you go. It's already set up and opened. I logged in with my email is how you can do it. And you don't see anything here other than an opening page because it isn't working yet. You can have a tab for reports that you'll be able to look at, and it'll give you a synopsis of things. You've got the device, the sleep apnea monitor, instructions on how to wear it, app instructions, FAQs, all that's right here in the app. SleepBreath, that's the name of the app. I am paired already, but not connected yet. And then there's stuff about you where you put in your, information. And then you've got a habits section where you can contour it on whether you smoke or not, how much alcohol you drink, dietary preferences, and what your job title is like. And apparently these are all factors that they can take into consideration, right? Whether you smoke, yes or no. You just go through and answer the questions. Every day, often, occasionally, or never for drinking. I don't know. I'm just going to, not every day. How about occasionally? That sounds politically correct for you guys, right? Dietary preferences, salty, oily, vegetarian, sweet, or balanced. Oh, I love being in balance. And job type. Would you call what I'm doing physical labor? Sure feels like it. Now I'm sitting down. I'll just say sedentary. What the heck? So you get your habits in here. And then, of course, there's feedback and help and about us and stuff. And the help is pretty extensive. Good. How you handle pairing problems, wearing instructions. Yeah. I guess you don't even really need the manual. And it looks, it's streaming from a website, so they can update it as necessary as well. Okay. Here we're going to do this. We're going to do this. here's the little goodie. I don't have the straps or anything on it now, and I don't need the charger attached to it. All I need, gang, all I need is the button. So I'm going to press the button, press and hold, and it should light up somewhere on here. Probably on the side. Press it a little longer. Press and press and press. There we go. There we go. It's blinking. It should now be attempting to connect. It's connected, and it should be ready to go. And look, I've got a snoring monitor and a breathing monitor, number of snores, whether I'm sleeping flat, okay, like that, or I've rolled over and I'm on my left side. Are you guys kidding this? On my left side, or I'm back flat again, or now I'm over on my right side, or I've flipped over on my back. I'm on my other, the other. Okay, you got that? Respiratory rate, it's going to be able to figure from your breathing. Suspected hypopnea and suspected apnea. And I'm just going to hold it up. Okay, I've got it on, and I'm talking, which is not what I should be doing, but I'm going to breathe. That is the first and the last time you're not going to hear Mr. Ticks talk. Got my breath. I didn't get any snoring out of it. Oh, I got a snore for you. Okay, I'm going to put it on. Are you ready? Here we go. Take a breath first. Holy cow. Alrighty, there we go. This is probably all my talking as well. I'll be back in a few days. For you, it'll be instantaneous, but I'm going to get some real data that we can talk about. So first of all, let me tell you how I put it on, because it is a little bit tricky. You get 3 different sizes of these behind the ear rubber bands, and they're kind of like shoelaces with a split on them. So you shove it through the hole, you bend it over, and you pull back, and they'll lock in place. Now, for me, this was fine. I put it around my ears. I'm using the middle one, so it's loose. It's not tight against my face. I found it was annoying to be tight. So I have it loose, but I can roll over, and it's not going to fall off. If that's not enough for you, they include a band as well, and you just simply slide the band into the little hole here on either side, okay? And you can wrap this over behind your neck to hold it in place as well. You might want to just put that on there super loose in case you think this thing might fall off or move off your face if you have it around your ears. Play with it a little bit. Of course, it's going to take maybe a night or two for you to really get the feel for it. But once you do, you're in for some very interesting observations. I didn't have too much trouble with it. It was annoying at first, but once I got settled, I got some great data. And that's what we're going to look at. So here's the app. It's opened. I went back to, what am I looking at? October the 18th. I need to go back to the 16th. There we go. Because from 21:36 to 5:56 in the morning, Uncle Tix did his best to be a severe snorer for you. Yay! And I was able to capture this report. Now, each of these are separate cards for different sessions. The one we're going to focus on is this one. Tap it, and there we are. Check out this data. Can you see all that okay? Good. 208 snores, Mr. Tix. Total snoring duration, 4 minutes and 15 seconds. So a snore is really short, but when you add them all together, I got quite a few. It calculated my respiratory rate as 15 beats per minute. Keep that in mind for something I'll show you in a second. Here's a suspected hypopnea event and its duration, and suspected apnea events. Now, because it's monitoring real time, it could pick up even the most subtle apnea cycle event. 32 of them, guys. Look at that. Here's the breakdown of the data with an overall chart, and it's got this little slide thing. Now, it shows you 21:36 to 5:56, and I can take this thing, and I could slide it around, and watch the information up here. It tells you where I'm at, how long the event was, what it's suspected of, and which side I'm lying on at that moment. And the red ones are the hypopnea, suspected apnea, orange, red. I'm going to grab a red thing. Over in this area, it got pretty intense. So here we go. I got a 14-second suspected apnea while on my left side. 1:18. Is that the time in the morning? I think it is, yeah, because here's 5 o'clock. Okay, here's another one. Duration, it's really hard to get it just right, but there. Did you see I had a 28-second, well, a 28-second suspected apnea. Now notice I'm on the left side, and there I'm other, which is like, there's some times I took it off, like in here and here, and I just set it on the nightstand. Other, nothing going on there. There are other times I flip to my right side, flip to my left side. Sometimes I was on my back, but I guess not very often. And you get all this kind of data. So overall, my sleep duration for that night, 8 hours and 19 minutes. Score of sleep quality was 100. And then I get down into this information. Here's my deep, light, and awake times on this chart. Now, this is interesting because it doesn't seem to match up with the time frame, because this is saying once I hit deep sleep, I had 6.5 hours of uninterrupted deep sleep. And I know that's not true. From up above, here we go. Got to slide it just right. You can see all the interrupts, and this is when I know I was up during the night and took the thing off for a little while and then woke up and put it back on and so forth. So it was a bit of a restless night. So I'm not sure why I'm getting this kind of an information download, except for the fact that maybe it's not really associated with time, but these are chunks. My total awake chunk was 23 minutes, light sleep, deep sleep. But nonetheless, there we go. That's what I've got there. Then you get these like radar plots on here. My snore index on the left side. If I can not lay on my left side, maybe I'll be okay. Flat, I think, is when you're flat on your back. And I don't do that. And right side and other was, when I'm not wearing it or I can't figure out, maybe I'm supposed to be on my tummy or something. There's a suspected respiratory event index, and same kind of thing. I get that chart. So it shows that I had 143 snores and 25 apnea events while laying on my left side. I had 1 snore on my back, and then other, I had some stuff there. Then you get the overall suggestions, and it gives you some basic information on that. So there is a snapshot of the robust report coming out of my night sleeping. I want to show you a couple of more reports just so you get the feel for it. Here's a evening report, 1 minute, which really doesn't do anything. Normal on the 18th of October. Here we go. Here's one from 1:36 to 3:20 in the morning. I got a moderate snore level. Let's look at this. And notice it's got event distribution with these different color charts in little groupings. So I go into here. Here we go. Total number 56. Total snore duration is 0. Interesting. 17 for respiration and so forth. We get down here with the suspected apnea and whatnot that's related to this slider. Watch these numbers. There's a 34-second left-sided apnea. There's number of times of snores coming up in there. And this is the actual time in the morning that happened. And slide it down, you get that chart again. And I guess you can move through it when you touch it. It's funny, you have to scroll it at certain places. It's not my sluggish phone, because the phone's not sluggish. It's just how the app responds to you. Here's that snore index chart again. I primarily am a left side sleeper. Look at that. Snoring, apnea, flat, and then the overall suggestions for that as well. Okay, now, in addition to the types of reports that we get from this device, I was also wearing this device to bed. Now, a lot of you follow the channel know that we have these kind of devices here that are specialized bands and watches that use red diodes, right, for getting the blood oxygen readings. And because of that, you can get all kinds of information when you wear it overnight, because it's constantly on monitoring what's going on, including sleep apnea. So I want to switch over here and show you a representative one. This is the sleep cycle information for October 17th. And look at the kind of data that you get from this. What I'm proposing to you is you may end up wanting to have this one for instantaneous continuous reading and a band like this that can give you complementary information by assessing your blood as well. So you got awake times and REM sleeping times even on this one, but there's a whole lot more here. I'm going to come back and go down here to blood oxygen. And I've got a couple of little sleep apnea buttons in there. I want to go back to the 17th. There we go. Now, this is looking at sleep apnea kind of on listening at your breath. And this is looking at a drop in your blood oxygen. And you see the little dots in here. If I go on one of these, like that one, you can find out exactly when it dropped down. There's the apnea events. Blood oxygen concentration, respiratory rate of 17. I think that was the same on the 17th, wasn't it? Hypoxia time, cardiac load, all kinds of stuff. So we have many, many ways that you can look at sleep apnea. This, by the way, when it does these apnea events, it's actually every 10 minutes. It's checking for that. This, as you saw when we went the live report here, it's checking continuously. No wonder I get like 23 on this one, and I'll get maybe 5 or 6 on this one, because it just happens to hit some of them. This catches all of them. So if you suspect that you snore, or your partner tells you that, if you suspect you might have sleep apnea going on, and you want to get enough data that you can like work with it or talk to your doctor about it, you can get basic information using a fitness band or watch. And we'll have links to all of them that I've reviewed that use the red diode and can give you that sleep apnea vibration to wake you up if you are in a holding your breath mode. We'll have links to all of those. And of course, this review is about this puppy who is just now launching on Kickstarter. And for really, really inexpensive compared to the medical equipment you'd have to use at a hospital, picking this up for well under $100 might be just what you need to get you the information you're looking for. It's assessing whether or not you are snoring or have sleep apnea potential. It's not actually vibrating you or waking you up or injecting you with plasma or doing any exotic thing to change your situation, but it is giving you a reading. Now, with some behavioral changes, lifestyle changes, sleep pattern changes, maybe laying in different directions that you do on your own, you can use this night after night or once a week or whatever to get an idea of how well your attempts at changing things are working, right? That and checking this thing, which you can literally wear nightly and get even exotic things like this thing called a Lorenz scatter diagram, when it shows you references of what these different patterns mean on what's going on with your overall heart health index and heart rate variability. This whole combination altogether gives you great, great information on maintaining your optimal health. So we invite you to head over to the link in the show notes to the Kickstarter page for the brand new process that's going on for the SleepBreathe. I saw it already. This actually is the first day. It's already online, and they're way over their what the money they were asking for. People are definitely interested in this. The main thing is, do you know about it? And now you do. And we hope you tell your friends. Thanks for watching, SmartWatch Ticks. We'll see you again soon.